Uh, so Guruji, from number 4, we started, you said 4 through 11, there are aspects of Ishvara. So each couplet we will go into it. Is that?
1 minute. Let Hariji ask a question. Let's.
I have not completely understood the meaning of the meaning of that line. Na chaham teshva vastitaha. I understood mastani sarva bhudani and na cha mastani bhudani. That in between na chaham teshva vastitaha is.
So nachaham teshu avastita. How to understand that? Teshu, in them. I am not in them.
Yeah, when we say it is all pervading, then when an all pervading power or the entity, how can he say na chaham teshva vastitaha?
Yeah.
Because it pervades everything.
Pervades everything. Okay.
Yeah.
Everything. What is the order of reality of everything versus I pervade everything? I pervade everything, he says. Okay.
Yeah.
I pervade everything. Okay.
Yeah.
I. What is the order of reality of I and versus order of reality of everything? See. The coin is Ghateshu avastitaha.
Yeah, it is inside the pot.
Ghateshu avastitaha. Ghate avastitaha. Why Ghate avastitaha? Because coin and pot have the same order of reality. If two things have the same order of reality, then one can say I am on top, I am inside, I am outside, I am to the side, I am away from, I am in, I am out. All this can be said. Okay. Suppose, let me give you a different example. Dream example.
Yeah.
Are you in the dream or not?
As a dreamer, I am in the dream.
As a dreamer, you are in the dream. So where are you in the dream?
As a dreamer, I am in the dream, not as a waker.
Okay, if A is in B, then we should be able to ask the question, where in B is A? If I say I am in Coimbatore, you can ask me where in Coimbatore I am.
Yeah.
So where in the dream you are? Tell me. Answer that question.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. I am everywhere in the dream. The entire dream I am there. Okay. Like, where in the pot is the clay?
Everywhere.
Everywhere. Correct?
Yeah.
Everywhere in the pot, clay is there. Is that the way to say it in English? I don't know. I am everywhere in the pot.
No.
Huh?
The pot doesn't exist. The pot is only, the pot is in play.
And now we are coming to the point. When the pot itself existence is questioned, how can clay say I am in pot? You answered your own question now. If pot's existence itself is questioned, when pot does not exist the way clay exists, how can clay say I exist in pot?
Okay. Then it is a okay.
Clay can say
okay. I get it. That means if I say I am clay is in pot means clay is limited.
Correct.
Yeah, so this is an limitless cannot be in the limited.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
Jagat is like that. So
Okay.
therefore, God can say, I exist in the world, but I don't exist in the world also. Water exists in the wave, but water says, I don't exist in the wave also. You better understand wave properly. That is what water is telling us.
Okay.
Correct.
So this is the difference between the limitless cannot be limited.
Correct.
By
Limitless
any,
cannot say I exist here. That here Varta is not possible. Saptami Vibhakti is not possible for the all pervasive Ishvara. Location is not possible for Atma, Brahma, Bhagavan. Therefore, Bhagavan created the world, but he can say I pervade the world, but he is shy to say.
he is much beyond.
If you pin him down, he will say I exist. Okay, I exist. If you pin him down further, he'll say I don't exist also. This is what this is the beauty. Correct?
Okay.
Nacha aham teshu avastitaha. Correct. Mithya is understood means entire Vedanta is understood. Period. It doesn't matter whether you study one Upanishad or 10 Upanishads. Correct? Now you understand. Now you understand the crux. What is it we are trying to understand? And that part, if you do, then the entire Shastram just falls apart. That is why Shastram says, hey, Veda also is a bunch of words. Yaya Brahma Adhigamyate Tadeva Paravidya. That's the beauty. Yeah, Ani, let's go ahead. You ask your question.
So I think yeah, I'll come. Okay, so one pot was destroyed, but other pot exists, and so on and so. And there's infinity of pots. So the question I think another way to look at this would be uh, that there are infinite number of pots possible is not the way to think about the clay's reality.
Okay, say it in a different way.
You might have the
Correct.
conception.
So you're right.
Yes,
You're right.
right.
Yes, reality has nothing to do with the
Nothing to
number
do
of
with
pots.
any number of pots that could come and go. Correct.
Correct.
Right. Okay. Yes, that's how I was. That's that.
Correct.
Okay. So coming back to
Look at that. Peacock is saying, yeah, you got it. Ani Mahodaya, you got it. She's saying.
so coming back to sorry, I interrupted Hariji when he was speaking. Sorry. So we talked about aspects of Ishvara. We said from 4 to 11 we will have that continuously coming along. Is that
Roughly,
4 through 11?
Yeah.
They will keep on coming. Okay.
Different ideas, but yeah, this is the main idea.
Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. Yes. Sorry.
Because we already saw some several ideas. What did we see? Maya Tatam. So all pervasiveness, Avyaktam, unmanifest or formless. Okay. What else we saw? And then Matstani Sarva Bhutani, Nachaham Teshu Avastitaha, Nacha Mastani.
Yes.
I exist, but I don't exist also in them. Okay. So
Yes.
order of reality. Okay. And then he's going to talk about Yathakasha, etc. Asangatvam is going to come. So some aspects like this. Yeah, good. Yeah, Vaidyanathanji.
Yeah, Jaykumarji, namaste. So the the dream example, the dreamer is everywhere in the dream, but there also the dreamer and the dream are two orders of reality, right? Two different orders of reality. In the sense that even though dreamer and dream are both mithya, the dreamer is higher because after the dream is over, the dreamer said, I dreamt it.
Correct. So
right?
there is
Where I'm going with that thought is the dreamer is everywhere in the dream, no doubt, but the dreamer can also say, I'm not in the dream.
Yeah, if
correct,
I was correct, if I was in the dream, And if the dream vanished, that means I vanished.
Yeah.
Huh? Nobody says I vanished. They say only dream. The dream is gone.
Guruji, related to this, I have a question. The dreamer can never say, no, that I have dreamt. Only the waker can say, I have dreamt.
Right.
In the dream, for the dreamer, it is a reality. The dreamer can never say that I have dreamt. Only when I wake up in the morning, I say I had dreamt. Only the waker can say I have dreamt. The dreamer cannot say that. For the dreamer, it is reality. It is not a dream.
Yeah. So that itself is a clue. While Swakale, so while I'm in this world and I'm doing whatever I'm doing, there's no chance of me saying the world's reality is something different than what I think it is.
Yeah.
That same thing, same dream, same trap. Dream is a trap, if you will. It's a trap. Trap means what? I have no choice but to take it as absolutely real. And same thing here also. Vyavaharika Satyam also, I don't know. I don't have the benefit of knowing that there is some other Paramarthika Satyam, some other reality which is a different order of reality than, or more real than this order of reality. Yeah, so Vijay, you can ask your question.
So, Guruji, we have one more state, the deep sleep also, right? So in deep sleep state, we don't have the dream also, we don't have the other world also. So how would we look at that? What order of reality, or where do we categorize that?
Yeah, so we use the deep sleep state to understand the relative nature of the waking state and the dream state. Okay, just to understand that these levels of reality, appreciate the orders of reality. Okay, then what happens? Then the Mandukya will say that deep sleep also is a state which is who's the adhara of the deep sleep state, and that adhara is Turiyam, like that Mandukya will say, is a fourth, and is fourth also a state? If the fourth becomes a state, then we will need a 5. And so Sankhyate, like that Shankaracharya says there. And so there he says, no, that deep sleep state also, the same Atma which supports the waking state and the dream state also supports the deep sleep state. But the beauty of this deep sleep and the dream and waking state analysis is, it's called Avastha Traya Prakriya. Okay, very brilliant analysis. It tells us, hey, my God, this is all these different states are there. So which state is it? Janaka is going to ask somebody else, hey, is dream more real or waking more real? They are going to have this kind of dialogue. Janaka and I think Kashtavakra or somebody like that. They're going to ask this dialogue. This is the dialogue they're having. How do you know this reality is a more real than dream reality? We agree that okay, this reality is better. But in this reality only I have my sorrows. I'd rather be in a dream reality, and at least I'll have a chance for some other realities also. Here, that chance also I'm not getting. At least I can constantly see all these Bill Gates house videos, and at least I can dream that I'm in a big palace like that. But in a waking life, all I hear is all kinds of nonsense I hear. There's no chance. Therefore, dream world is a better world. Somebody says. Therefore, yeah. So that's how it works, Vijay.
So I have a comment based on the previous. When the dreamer is seen only when you are awake, but basically, like the verse says that Vishwam Darpana Dushyamana Nagari. Basically, it is like, even though it is seen outside, actually it is inside. So finally, it is what matters is like whether it's a dream or it is waking. It's only seen inside, right?
No, seen inside means what? So
it appears inside. It appears inside. It means within the consciousness, in other words. But when I wake up, I know that I dreamt, fine. But the most fundamental aspect is that whether it's a dream or waking, and I think that is why the question comes whether this is real or that is real. What is really real?
Exactly. Yeah, so it is inside, the world is inside when you say it. We are looking at the images of the external world inside the head. Okay. We say, I am seeing the sun, but the sun has moved on. Okay. It's, as we said the other day, it's 9 minutes ahead, and we are seeing sun 9 minutes afterwards. The position of sun 9 minutes before where the sun was, that is the position only we are seeing. So we are not really seeing. We are not really, we think we are seeing the real world, right? We are not even seeing the real world. It's absolutely amazing. Sky is blue. What real world it is? What sky is blue? Our thing, this whole thing is it's a filter. We are seeing things through a filter. And that's one way. Yeah. So that's why we see what is in our mind. We assume that what we see in our mind is what is out there. We assume. That is why we have to constantly keep checking. That's why diagnostic tests also. You know, it looks like, yeah, you have a temperature this way. All these things the doctor does. It looks like you have a bacterial infection, but let's check it out. Let's do a swab test, this, that, etc. So yeah, Vishwam Darpana Drishyamana Nagari. So that's, we have to go deeper. Yeah.
Another example which is more fascinating is like when the mirrors example where I see the ground reality is the desert, which is actually creating the illusion. But okay, I know that there is water. I go forward and look back, still there is water in spite of knowing that it is a mirage. Right? I mean, still I see water there.
Correct. So it's not like a dream example. In dream, you can't do this analysis in dream, but in the waking state, you can analyze all these things.
Yeah.
And physics teacher can use this as an example and say, look, water. And that perception of water doesn't go away at all. Correct. Like the perception of sun's movement, it doesn't go away. Yeah, Hariji had a question, I think. World and dream are our projections. Yeah, so the understanding that the world is a projection is a whole study, correct? I can't simply say world is a projection and move on. That is the whole, that statement has to be understood, explained. World is a projection means what? Adhyasaha. I'll mention it in the next class.
Because the world I see may not be the same world which you are seeing. I see the world as per my nature, my structure.
Okay, so you mean it in that way. Okay, that's okay. Yeah. So therefore, that tells us what? It's a clue for us. It's a clue for that we are not really seeing the world as it should be seen.
Yeah.
And the question is anybody seeing the world as it should be seen? Or is everybody in the same boat?
Subjective, yes.
Yeah.
Probably once you reach that state of abiding in yourself, maybe it will be seen the real way, the way it should be seen.
Then you won't be able to see at all. The world will not exist when you are aware of it. Then only the Satyam exists. All the other things disappear.
So we don't say all other things disappear. We say everything is understood as mithya.
Yeah. Okay.
It disappears. It can't disappear because the jnani also will have to consume food. And Jnani must be able to recognize food from non-food. Okay.
Okay.
And the Jnani also has to live in a place, and some buddhi has to keep working. Okay. All this is important. Therefore, this words disappearing and all that is not correct also.
Okay. Oh, okay.
World doesn't disappear at all. World no longer has the same status for the Jnani as it has for the other person.
Yeah. Okay.
So
World is a dream, sometimes like a dream, they say, right?
Yeah.
Ila, what is that? Telisite mokshamu teliyakunna bandhamu. Correct? Telisite mokshamu teliyakunna bandhamu. Our favorite song. It has now become our favorite. And so if you know, then you're free. If you don't know, you're bound. Teliyakunna bandhamu. Kalavantidi bratuku ghanulukini. That means for the wise people, Kalavantidi, this world is like a dream. Not non-existent. World is not, they don't say that. That Annamacharya doesn't say non-existent. He says world is like a dream. Leaves it at that. Like a dream means, yeah, just as you said the dream, oh, it's a dream. Like that, he's going to say, oh, it's a waking state. Okay, it's another dream. Very big revelation it is. So I will not consider this world to be more serious than the dream. But little serious I have to consider, because for a transaction, there are certain things we all have to do. We have to relate to people, etc. I will do all that. Jnani will do all that. But that's it. That is the prarabdha karma. It has to happen. But beyond that, Jnani is not going to be affected by the ups and downs. Because Kalavantidi. Kalavantidi. Kalava means this one, dream in Telugu. Correct? Am I right, Prasad? Kalavantidi.
Yeah. Kalavantidi.
Yeah.
I have one more.
Raise your hand because many people are talking together. Yeah, Anirudh, go ahead.
So if we were to extend this 3 states, where would a comatose person's experience fall then?
Yeah, I mean, comatose experience.
Where would it be? It's hard. It's a very relevant thing, but maybe if you're looking at the 3 states.
Yeah, see, normally in a deep sleep state, the average person comes out of deep sleep state and is able to say, I was in a sleep state, then I was, before that, I slept at 10:30 in the night. All that memory is there, everything is okay. But the comatose person, even those memory functions are affected. Memory functions are affected. So that person's behavior is unpredictable.
Correct.
Unpredictable. How long they're going to coma, whether they're going to come out, after they come out, what's going to happen, everything is unpredictable.
Correct.
So that state is, I mean, it's a combination of these states. See, waking state does not mean I'm sane, correct?
Right.
Waking state doesn't say we are sane. Waking state is waking state, that's all. And I may be insane. That's why we do say insane, this person is insane, etc. But they are very much awake. Insane while awake. Okay? Insane while awake. So comatose, one of the stages, some combination, whatever, with some problems. Okay? With some non-functioning neurological systems and whatnot. Okay.
But can we say, Jaykumarji, what is known to them, in spite of whatever is the state?
You are talking about comatose people?
Comatose state, yeah. Yeah. For those, it is the conscious, the pure conscious which knows. So at that point, what is known is already known to them. So in other words, the knowledge or whatever. But the state, whatever is the state, we cannot say we have one of these 3 states, but basically they are aware of what is already been aware for them.
They are aware of what is already what?
Already known, yeah. Like when they come back, in other words, they knew exactly at that point what they had known before going to that state, comatose state.
So when you say they had already known what they, before they went to coma, means, are you saying they are unable to express it or not express it?
It's not about expression, but it is about the state of their mind in which, so if you say that known and unknown in the Jagat, so today what is known just before going to comatose state, when they come back, it is same known. Like they don't.
The memory
lose
is not
anything.
lost.
Memory may not be there during the comatose state, but it is not lost when they come back.
It could be lost depending on the neurological injury and stuff like that. But the fact that they are conscious, they are aware of themselves, maybe that thing they might have, but again, depends on the extent of injury and what caused it. You cannot say that they are aware of everything that they have went through. It could be that some of the memory is gone too.
Hmm.
So,
But they're known to respond to stimuli, correct?
depends on how deep the coma is. Like sometimes do they respond to like verbal stimuli? Are they responding to pain, deep pain? Like, you know, they might not respond depending on what is affected and how they are presenting. So, I mean, coma is deep state where, you know, like they might respond to pain or not respond. Different states. As they're recovering, they might slowly respond to pain. So again, the memory part of it is questionable depending on what caused and how much, what's the extent of injury, what's their recovery. So we cannot say that definitely all the memory will come back or definitely all the neurological function will come back. So what caused that?
So Prasad may be asking a metaphysical question. So
That's right. Yeah.
so
That's
memory.
what, as far as consciousness is concerned, are they aware of themselves? Like basically what we are talking about here, consciousness is like that awareness, the chit, you know, like for not the chitta, not the memory. But it's a chit. They will be aware of themselves. I'm sure that will not go.
Mohaniji, actually, you brought a very important point because this was actually bothering me earlier. One question which I would like to ask Jaykumarji. So when you talk about memory, for example, yesterday Jaykumarji told me something, okay? I don't have to remember everything of that. Today, if he asked me, I would not be able to tell him. But when he start telling me back, then I know this. Because it's my awareness which I knew, but memory will not be able to bring it back to me. So
The
this is
recollection might not be there. So,
Yeah.
so I mean, there are again pathways. When you recall, that recall ability also, it has to have that pathway through which you recall. It's how you enter your memory into the brain, and then the recall pathways also, depending on how you're recalling, the recall also, the more you practice, the more it will come back to you faster and more complete. So
what is Prasadji's question?
Oh, my
no,
question
he's saying like it might ring a bell, like what I might not remember, but if somebody tells me or reminds me.
Yeah, but what is the question though? That is fine. I think we understand all that. But what is the question?
Okay. I don't know what the question was.
We understand recollection is different from what is there, etc. Maybe at some
Okay.
time.
Yeah. No, so this is related to the earlier, what I said earlier, that for a comatose person, see, the memory may not be there, but he knew that is what is aware of for him is known already to him when he comes back. That's what I was trying to say. So with respect to that, I was, when Mohaniji said is memory lost. So in the normal state also, I may not remember what you said 2 days back, but the moment you start saying one word, 2 words, I know that, oh, this is what it is. So that's what I referred back to that.
Yeah, so comatose person, what's going to happen to him after he comes out of coma is anybody's guess. In the sense, I mean, if things are good, slowly he'll recall things. He may see some people and say, yeah, I know who you are, etc. May trigger, things may slowly trigger and slowly come back, etc. So, but that's a process, and there is no connection between that and what we are talking about, correct?
Yeah, Vedanta doesn't talk about abnormal situations. That's the problem. We talk in Vedanta about normal people and normal things. I don't think we can bring Vedanta into
Vedanta says all people whom you think are as normal are actually abnormal.
It could be that also, but what I'm saying is they're more abnormal than what Vedanta perceives them to be. Let's take it that way. That's our starting point. Then we have to say the more abnormal people.
No, coma is a medical condition.
It's a disease state. That's what we cannot apply Vedanta in disease states.
There is
That's
no
what I'm
need.
saying.
There is no need to apply Vedanta. We cannot apply.
Yeah.
I'm saying going one step further. There is no need for Vedanta here.
Yes, there is
Coma
no
person
need. Like,
is a different
we
kind
are
of
trying to explore here what happens.
Right. Satyam is Satyam. Satyam is not going to be upset that I am in coma.
If we apply somehow, that's what I'm trying to think, that during the state of comatose, he lost everything. It's a mind related, where the mind is like deep state, how we, the absence of the mind. It may be the absence of the mind, you don't understand anything what others are talking outside, but from the perspective of the consciousness is still aware. If we apply Vedanta, I mean, you said.
Yes, I
don't
mean, that's
apply
what the heart consciousness subject is, right, where neurology and anesthesia and all these things come, is what happens in anesthesia. Basically, the sensory input is not there, but they will not remember anything because the input is not there. Okay, they don't remember having surgery, they don't remember what is going on because the input is not there, but they are conscious of their, like, they exist. They went through the surgery. After the surgery, they will recollect. So what I'm saying is that sense of I had the surgery or whatever happened, they don't recall the event, but the consciousness, I'm sure, is there, because that can't go. The sensory input is not there. That's all.
I remember
So
that I went into surgery. That they might be.
Yeah, that they will know. They will know that they had surgery, but how long, what happened, the events they cannot recollect because the sensory input is not there.
Right.
I
So
wanted to
the
share
mind is there, but the inputs are not there.
Yeah.
I mean,
But I
it's
want
a
to share-
very evolving subject about consciousness and what happens neurologically and things like that. But you cannot, I don't think we can explain consciousness in relation to neurology. You can just say this is a process, but what, for example, what tells them that sense of I cannot be explained? I am having this experience, that experience of I cannot be explained neurologically.
Right. Exactly.
The consciousness
Just,
cannot be explained.
just should share when I got into surgery. I mean, this is actually, it's not like it's not a question or answer, but at certain point of time, I knew something, suddenly a movement, as if they moved me out of my a place where I got into surgery. Only one instance, 1 second or milliseconds or whatever, I just knew that something happened, and then again I am out totally. So I didn't know from beginning to the end, but this is a surprise to me. I never shared this with you and doctor also, but I just remembered now when we are talking about this. So
some sensory input was there, but like not enough for you to remember. That can happen depending on state of anesthetic, or maybe they were moving you from the operating table to the bed. I mean, difficult to say exactly what you remember and what it was. I wasn't there.
Or it can be another possibility is, or it's a feeling that Prasad had, and or he thinks he had a feeling also. That is also a possibility.
feeling means, do you mean, no, there is some physical activity happened. I remember that it's sort of urine coming out of me, for example. So that sort of understanding I had, yeah.
Right.
When I was moved
But
out.
at that time, you probably were more awake than what you were for the surgery. Or I mean, I can't say, like, it's very difficult to say what stage of surgery it happened. Was it in the recovery room? Was it in the operating room? Where it was, I can't say. You probably, are you talking about your open heart surgery or something?
Yes.
So it could be in the ICU, because in ICU you're under sedation.
So
just
not in
sitting.
ICU. It's not in ICU. Before that
Okay.
itself.
So if it is during surgery, again, like various levels, sometimes when you're on bypass, cardiopulmonary bypass, you're given IV medications, the anesthetic is at a lower level. If there are problems with the blood pressure, you might not be fully under, we don't know. I mean, so many possibilities.
Yeah, so this
Why
is
you had that one incident.
Prasad, this is Vyavaharikam, correct?
Sorry?
This is all Vyavaharikam, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, we understand that. You understand that also, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Even all the coma processes and coming out, etc. Everything is Vyavaharikam.
Vyavaharikam, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So we understand that as Vyavaharikam. And there is a science behind that. And so science itself means Vyavaharikam. Understanding the Vyavaharikam is science.
Yeah.
Right.
Reductionist methodology which they use.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, Vaidya, you had a question. And Satyaji also has raised his hand. Yeah, Vaidya, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that, the Vyavaharika Satyam, even though we recognize it as different from the Paramarthika Satyam, the Vyavaharika Satyam is still important, right? Because wherever there is Mithya, there is Satyam also, correct? That's why Dharma, Adharma, all those things are important. We should not just dismiss some adharmic act by saying, oh, this is all Mithya, right? Correct? So
Correct.
otherwise it'll be wrong understanding of our Shastra.
In fact, you can't come to Shastra without Dharma.
Yeah.
A dharmic person will not come to Shastra at all.
Right. No, what I mean is a wrong understanding of Shastram. A dharmic person might say this is all Mithya and dismiss it, which is also wrong, I'm saying.
Yeah. And he will quote Sarvadharman Parityajya also.
Ah, yes, exactly. Exactly. Which is a wrong understanding of our Shastram.
Right.
That recently happened, which I mean, if you have followed the news, when somebody has stated that is all Midya, right? Remember?
Yeah, Hyderabad.
Hyderabad, yeah.
Yeah. You're aware of that. Satyaji, go ahead.
Two things. One is in response to Prasad's comment. There's what is called telescoping of time under anesthesia. That is, when you are given anesthetic agents, you lose your consciousness. And when you wake up, the time between initial loss of consciousness and regaining the consciousness, that period is completely not in your recall. That is what is called telescoping of time. You remember when you are given the starting of the anesthesia and again at the end of the anesthesia, the period during the beginning and ending is completely out of your recall if it is proper deep anesthesia. The second thing is, I think the whole idea of learning these two, I think it refers to the second Raja Vidya, Raja Guhyam, the royal knowledge and not knowing the open secret, and it is called secret. All this related to metaphysical nature of the realities. And the point of knowing the three states or three realities is mainly to not be subject to suffering. When we know the Vyavaharika is again a Nitya, it is like a dream. And the example you quoted, if somebody has a bad dream, when they wake up, they say, oh, it's only a dream. Same thing we need to apply in real life. When we have a bad event in our life, if we take that only as a dream, the suffering will be less. I think the whole idea of knowing the three states of reality is mainly to lessen the suffering in real life. That's what I wanted to share.
Sure. Okay. So we'll comments here. Okay. So there's a state called lucid dream where one knows one is dream. Okay. So there's another state called daydream where one knows one is dream. Okay, that's called daydream. So, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrita Kalasahastaya Sarvamaya Vinashanaya Trailokyanathaye Shri Mahavishnave Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrita Kalasahastaya Sarvamaya Vinashanaya Trailokyanathaaya Shri Mahavishnave Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrita Kalasahastaya Sarvamaya Vinashanaya Trailokyanathaaya Shri Mahavishnave Namaha. Thank you.